Greetings everybody and welcome to G4G on YouTube. I am your host, Napalm Dawn, and today we are discussing two Square games currently fighting for your attention in the quote-unquote looter shooter genre, or a looter go kill something, because Marvel's Avengers you maybe can't exactly call a shooter, whereas Outriders you definitely can. So what you see on your screen is Outriders by People Can Fly and Square Enix or Squeenix. And we're also talking about Marvel's Avengers, which is by Crystal Dynamics and Square. So, what has been going on with these two games? Well, they released several months apart, and Outriders is a third-person shooter, whereas Marvel's Avengers is an action RPG, but they both have multiplayer elements. As a matter of fact, when it comes to Outriders, I predominantly, 95% of the time, play this with my girlfriend who runs a pyromancer, and I run the character that you see, which is essentially a techmancer. My character is like a lot of gadgets, poison, a freeze-related melee, and she plays a pyromancer, which I don't think even really needs to be described so much. So, Marvel's Avengers, I don't play with anybody. I have nobody that I join with, and I don't do matchmaking in it. I don't do matchmaking over here either. But they are multiplayer games that are essentially based around killing things and looting things, and hopefully you get loot that you like. So, with them both being Square games, what's really been happening with the two of them? Well, Outriders has released two community appreciation packages. They released one a while ago, and now they have another one. And this is not a games as a service. This is a straight up install it, get all your content on day one game, whereas Marvel's Avengers is a service game. So you'll see three legendaries in my inventory. One is a machine gun that looks a lot like a Destiny 2 hive gun, or sort of like a worm. That is the gun at the 4042 power, and then there are two shotguns at the 9.665 power. Or 9.6K is what I was going for. We have the Airy Master, which is my newest one, the one that I opened tonight when I logged in. Grim Arrow is my old one that I actually earned. And then the blue shotgun to the left of it is from the first Community Appreciation Package. Look at that. I have two legendaries because somebody said, hey, Outriders players, thank you for continuing to play this game and sticking with us. Here's some loot. Oh, and by the way, in this most recent patch, we have fixed the legendary drop rate, and now you will probably find the legendary if you farm a little bit, whereas hardly ever before. Now, there is a good level of loot, and then there is a bad level of loot, and then there is a sweet spot. I kind of think where I am in Borderlands 3 now, it's almost too much. I'm pretty much guaranteed to see legendaries and anointeds almost every time that I play. Whereas this game, other than Grim Arrow, which I believe is actually a quest reward, I really haven't seen legendary loot, but I've seen a lot of purples. As you can see, I'm completely decked out in purples, and the only thing not is my sniper, but I can make it purple if I wanted to and spend some shards. I find it rather telling and actually rather disgusting that Square can get it so right when it comes to Outriders that it's being called a reverse Anthem, but then turn around and get it so wrong for Marvel's Avengers. That is a game that right now needs several community appreciation packages. Square needs to go ahead and sit there and say, hey, you know what? All 7 of you who have stuck with this game and continued to play it, despite all of our shortcomings, here you go. Here is a big something. Not a fucking nameplate. Not a nameplate that you earned by playing a somewhat obnoxious Red Room event, where when I was playing it as Black Widow, because I was like, it's a theme, let me do it, I would just casually drop kick into the red digital lava like it was calling my name and there was candy at the bottom of it. It was rough. But then you got this really cool nameplate at the end of it. They've given us like 2 MODOK plates because of the MODOK animation that's going on. But they need to do so much more. And to anybody who says, oh, it just sounds like you're whiny and entitled and you expect the devs to do something. Well, hello, Outriders has done it twice. I have 2 quote-unquote God roll shotguns. Now, I don't particularly favor shotguns in this game. I tend to have a rapid-firing, close to medium-range gun like an assault rifle. And then I have my sniper. And then the pistols are your infinite ammo. My pistols are very good. I love my pistols right now. My snipers do pretty well. I'm not a big fan of a 3-clip shotgun that gets you in a lot of trouble when things swarm you and you're trying to reload. But the second community appreciation shotgun that I got, the one that looks like it had the Paul Atreides House of Atreides eagle on it from the Dune games, that one is really good. And that area that I just came out of, I killed a boss called Moldfang with that shotgun. Obviously with, obvious other guns in my loadout, but that was my primary weapon. So I made do with it. The first shotgun I used for a while, but it didn't really help. And I'm just kind of demonstrating here. One of the really only annoying things about Outriders is sometimes its difficulty is dictated by the amount of little tiny enemies that they can have swarm you that cause volume blocking and peg you into corners where you can't dodge out of them because they're a brick wall of bodies in front of you. And then here comes the big bad boss, likely slamming you on the head or doing a ground AoE that you can't get out of because you're being swarmed by little shits. The fun thing is, though, you could change your difficulty level right then and there. After you wipe, just adjust the world tier down a little bit. If you're 10, drop it to 9 or 8, and then you're good to go. Whereas if you get into a tough mission on Marvel's Avengers, you have to leave the mission and start all over again to drop the difficulty. So that right there is kind of a point in Outriders' favor. But to continue, these 2 legendary shotguns were given to me simply for logging in, and they are by far and away the most damaging weapons that I have currently. And you can see in my inventory there, nothing really comes close to 9.6k. I have some 8s, I've got an 8.3, but that's really about it. So obviously it has value. And even if I don't consider myself a major shotgunner, I'm making do and actually had a really good time with this gun that's being displayed right now. Marvel's Avengers is not doing any of that. What they're doing is some free nameplates from time to time, or a sale on a still have to be purchased with credits suit or skin. Right now for the 4th of July, there is a captain sale going on because he's the ultimate American Patriot. However, the newest skin called Ultimate Patriot, a very comic close skin over there, especially from the waist up, full price. that shows you where the mind is with Square and Marvel's Avengers. It's greed. It's all about the money making, and they really don't care about the community. The PS players still don't have Spider-Man. They release big patches that give us what we want, like 2 characters and then the Cosmic Cube event, but then they don't fix the bugs that have been outstanding. This game, the community proved that there is an issue where your mitigation just doesn't work sometimes. So what did they do? They released a patch that actually fixed it. And then they said, alright, we know you want to get a little more value out of playing this game, so let's up the legendary drop rate. And, you know, that you could get it into the Borderlands level where just about everything drops a legendary. Or you could have had it like Outriders was in the beginning, or how Diablo 3 was in the beginning, where legendaries just really don't drop. A community appreciation package helps that. They're like, you may have gotten 1 or 2 legendaries, so here are 2 stimulus checks, quote unquote. And there you go. Marvel's Avengers really needs that. You need to have, on several times now, maybe once a month at this point, a good legendary skin. Now, this game, it's different to just give you a gun. Maybe you're not playing a shotgun or a shotgun build or something like that. However, every character in this game, whether it's a pyromancer or the techromancer or the tanky guy, no matter what, you could put that gun in your hand and shoot it and reload it. And there you go. Everybody could use that kind of a reward. If Marvel's Avengers did it, and they're like, okay, here's Cap's Ultimate Patriot suit for 4th of July. Boom. Free skin. Maybe you don't play Cap, so maybe you really don't give a shit about that. Or you have the MCU skin, which is very, very good. They really knocked it out of the park with MCU Cap. So you don't want to play Ultimate Patriot Cap, because you got a skin that you paid for or ground for. You know, really grinded it out for. So I think what they would have to do is give you some kind of a certificate that you redeem at that useless crafting station, the blueprint station. You turn it in over there and you craft it for the character that you're currently logged in as. So if you want to get a legendary Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, load up Miss Marvel, go to the crafting station with the free certificate that they gave you, boom. Crafted a legendary skin. They could do that. They're not, and that's where Outriders is winning. A similar game in a similar space is winning against a stablemate. Now, Marvel's Avengers is a game that has to do this kind of stuff, and I'll tell you why. Marvel's Avengers had the weight of coming in with a fan base. There is a universe of people who will play Marvel's Avengers because of the universe that it is in. It's Star Trek, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Matrix. These are all universes that have a fan base that could draw its fans to things related to the universe. So if it's a Matrix movie and you have a Matrix MMO, which was true, but very, very short-lived and not very good, you could have MMO fans that go over, and you could have Matrix fans go over and play it. Marvel's Avengers is the same way. However, it was shown back in the beta, a lot of common critiques are this is probably not going to pull in looter shooter people, but it will pull in the Marvel fans. You have it on your honor to respect that universe of people. If you're not going to pull in outsiders because it's not a great game within its genre, you're left with the universe fans. People like me who want to play a good Marvel game. That is who you should give community appreciation to. A, the people that have continued to stick with your game, and B, the fans of the universe, as contrition, as an apology for screwing up something that exists in that universe. And you're making mad boys, you know? Mad fanboys, basically. You're probably not pulling in people who want to play that style of game but don't really care about Marvel. You're pretty much going to be on the Marvel fans, my guess. Give them community appreciation, not some stupid nameplate. Although the digital ones are cool and all, but what are you looking at more? For the majority of time, you're looking at your character. Give us some legendary skins. Maybe give us a really good artifact, a skin and an artifact. I don't know. I mean, it's harder to give them something to cash out for a character, but I think it's doable. And they obviously can't give you just a thing for a character that you don't necessarily use. I mean, like Iron Man. I never touched my Iron Man. If my community appreciation was, a legendary quality chest plate, that's not going to really do me any good. But if they gave me a certificate that I could cash it out for the character that I care about, or maybe a character like Kamala Khan is capped out, and I'm working on Hulk as a secondary character, maybe I want to exchange the gear on the Hulk. So it's really sad that Outriders is becoming quote-unquote a reverse Anthem and digging itself out of a grave, pulling itself up by its bootstraps, and rewarding the players who continue to play it. Whereas Marvel's Avengers, who really should be doing the community a service by being good to them and keeping them around first until the PS5 version came out, and then until the characters start releasing, and then Black Panther. That's the people you need to keep going, because when I log in for the Cosmic Cube event when it went live, and my Thor put somebody inside of a garage that I had to kill with AoE through the garage walls, which has been a common bug since day one. When you don't fix shit like that, but you continue to be greedy with your marketplace, you are saying so much out loud without actually saying it. Show me you hate your fan base without telling me you hate your fan base is what they're doing. Outriders is laughing the whole way. And it doesn't have a dedicated universe, a dedicated meta of people coming over to it, whereas Marvel does. And they need to do right by those fans. So that's who needs to have 2 good community appreciation packages until Black Panther drops. And just give it as a certificate, a blueprint that you can turn into the fabricator, and there you go. Listen to what your stablemates are doing here in Outriders and try to do it. Because it's a real shame to see both of these games I was really interested in before they dropped. They both had betas and demos, and I played them. It's really sad to see what has continued to happen with Marvel's Avengers when there are things they could do to fix their standing with the community. Fix the bugs, get Spider-Man out already on the PS5. There's just stuff they could do, and they're not doing it, and Outriders is basically humiliating them. So, let me know down in the comments below, are you still playing Avengers? Are you still playing Outriders? Do you play Outriders? If you play both, what do you think about the comparison to the two? If you don't play them, just from what you've heard in the video, what do you think about how they're treating their fan bases, how they're treating their players? I'm interested to hear your take on this. So, happy 4th of July to all of my American friends, and hope you enjoyed this video. discussing the difference between how Outriders and Marvel's Avengers is treating their community of players. See you, everybody.